Episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. In today's episode, I want to share with you the story of the dentist who has now been accused of poisoning his wife to death in order to be with his lover. That's right, folks. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. On March 15th, 2023, at approximately 11:08 a.m., Angela Craig, 43 years old, presented herself to Parker Adventist Hospital because she had a severe headache and was experiencing dizziness. Angela was accompanied by her brother-in-law and later met by her husband, James Toliver Craig. At approximately 2 p.m., Angela experienced a seizure and began to rapidly decline medically. Eventually, she was placed on life support in the intensive care unit. Hospital medical personnel could not find a known medical condition that would have caused Angela's rapid medical decline. Angela died on March 18th. 4 days after being admitted to the hospital with dizziness and nausea. On March 19th, just a day later, James Craig, her husband, was arrested in the murder of the mother of his 6 kids. He is now charged with premeditated murder. The dentist allegedly researched poisons that can't be detected in an autopsy before lacing his wife's protein shakes with arsenic and cyanide to start a new life with his lover. James Toliver Craig of Aurora, Colorado, used a shared computer at his workplace to conduct multiple online searches about poison before his wife Angela died in the hospital. That is according to his arrest warrant. And he searched a number of different things on Google and YouTube, including searches like how many grams of pure arsenic will kill a human? Is arsenic detectable in autopsy? These are the type of things that he was Googling or going to YouTube to try to get answers for. That is why it's hard to believe that they do not have the right story going on here with law enforcement. And so now we know the Colorado dentist, he is charged with murdering his wife by poisoning her protein shakes, railed against colleagues who found the chemicals he used to allegedly kill her, warning them not to speak to police unless subpoenaed, and claiming there were things they didn't know. James, who many refer to as Jim Craig, he is charged with murdering his wife Angela, again, the mother of his 6 kids, by slowly poisoning her to death with potassium cyanide. She first started feeling sick on March 6 and visited hospital twice before she was admitted before her death. So basically within 10 days she was in the hospital 3 times. And according to charging documents, Craig was having an affair with a Texas orthodontist who he flew to Colorado while his wife fought for her life in the hospital. He'd had multiple affairs over the years, had run his dental practice into the ground, and had gambled away thousands of dollars. That's according to his wife's family, who say she had tried several times to leave him throughout their 16-year marriage, but that he stopped her every time. There were text messages that contained proof of what he was trying to do. It contained these text messages were within the affidavit, also reveal how he tried to worm his way out of charges after his colleagues found the potassium cyanide that he had ordered to their office. He at first claimed it was a ring for his wife. That's what he was saying before they actually had seen what was inside the box. Then he conceded that it was indeed poison, but claimed that she had ordered it for herself. When they disproved that lie, he admitted ordering it, but claimed it was part of a game of suicide chicken that the pair had played. James said he ordered the potassium cyanide, but didn't think she would actually take it. He described the situation as being similar to a game of chicken. At that point, Ryan Redfern told James to stop talking and get a lawyer before saying anything more to law enforcement. You see, James, Jim, whatever you want to call him, he claimed that his wife was suicidal, hooked on opioids, and that he'd once drugged her in the past, but only so that she couldn't stop him from taking his own life. The elaborate stories compound incriminating Google searches that he carried out for how to mix poison in the days before his wife died. He also complained about a delay in the shipment of more potassium cyanide on March 9th. And you can see the email where he says, "Wow, it's 7:30 at night and I have been waiting at my office all day for the shipment. Looks like it didn't come. I wish they would have just told me they weren't going to be able to get it to me overnight." You see, he tried ordering that with overnight delivery, and the person he was communicating with said, "Yes, looks like the suppliers will be able to overnight it to you. Please send me the tracking information when you get it." And that's what he was saying to Cassie, the salesperson who was helping him during this order. And so he's complaining about the delay in the shipment of more of this poison, basically, as you can see right here. In the affidavit, it also reveals how James had poisoned his wife before, years prior. When she began feeling sick on March 6th, she texted him telling him she felt as though she'd been drugged. Disturbingly, he replied, "Given our history, I know that must be triggering. Just for the record, I didn't drug you." Her sister later told police that he'd drugged her years prior and claimed it was an effort to knock her out for long enough for him to kill himself undisturbed. For days before she died, he texted her incessantly, asking her how she was feeling and what was wrong with her. He expressed concern for her and told her he loved her, all the while claiming he had no idea what was causing her illness. He sent her text messages in the hospital inquiring about her condition and professing his love. He did this multiple times. Who knows why? We can only speculate. You see, what started on March 6th, then over the next 10 days, she visited the hospital 3 times complaining of nausea and dizziness, but doctors couldn't determine what was causing her illness. One message even said, "I love you. It was so nice hanging out with you and just watching a show and snuggling." That's what he wrote on March 7th, the day after he allegedly administered the poison. He tells her, "I'm planning on coming home to eat lunch with you though. I'll need to ask you what you're hungry for and bring it to you. I'm kind of feeling just a smoothie or something." She tells him she's not hungry. Now, know that the smoothie is one of the ways that he is alleged to have been poisoning her multiple times. While she wrestles with her nausea, headaches, exhaustion, and vomiting, Craig texts her repeatedly, telling her he loves her and wants her to recover. While not being there for her, he's texting her and like a little kid, like nothing's going on, can't wait to see you. I'm going to trust that you are just sleeping and not dead somewhere, he says at one point, where she fails to reply to his text, as you can see squared off in this image. He says he is heading home to make you some dinner. On March 9th, Angela was in the hospital. As her symptoms worsened, Craig texts his wife, "Man, baby, you've got to stop scaring me like this. I love you so much and I'm not used to all of this excitement." On March 10th, with his mistress still in town, Craig texts his wife, "I wish I could have stayed longer. I love you and am so glad you seem to be doing better." Again, while his mistress was in town and she's in the hospital fighting for her life. On March 11th, he told his wife, "I just woke up dreaming about making love to you. I love you and I want you." Again, while she's fighting for her life. As she is discharged from the hospital, he tells her, "I can't wait to see you at home in my bed tomorrow." She says she needs to stop vomiting before she can think about sex. Now, Craig, meanwhile, he's ordering more poison with the delivery of cyanide dispatched on March 13th. On March 14th, she returned home and accused her husband of trying to poison her. That's what he told someone that he felt he can trust to share this with, a confidant. James told her when Angela was discharged, she made accusations that James had poisoned her. The charging documents had stated this. Angela said something to James along the lines of, "There are poisons they don't test for." Back home, her condition dramatically worsened and she was readmitted on March 15th, suffering a seizure and never regaining consciousness. On March 16th, with Angela's condition worsening, his mistress emails him saying she wants to comfort him, but does not want to be there and conceal what I feel for you. This is the email that you are seeing from his mistress, the orthodontist. "I am sorry I am not part of your world to be of more help to you, and instead I am pulling you away." That's what she writes in this email. This is so hard. I want to be and do whatever I can to support and encourage you, and I don't want to add to what has become an incredibly difficult time. I do want to give you any comfort I can, but I do not feel it is right for me to mix in with those gathering to mourn Angela either, and I do not want to meet your family as a friend and conceal what I feel for you. That is what she wrote in that email. Craig was reported to the authorities by one of his own co-workers who was suspicious about his behavior and the poison deliveries, and he refused to conduct an autopsy on his wife despite pleas from concerned friends who were worried that the cause of death could be genetic and passed on to the children. And the affidavit said that Craig planned to end his wife's life by searching for ways to kill someone undetected, providing her poisons that align with her hospitalized symptoms, and working on starting a new life with his lover. Now, the dentist allegedly ordered the arsenic online on February 27th and received a package at home on March 4th, as you can see right here. Now, his second package arrived at work on March 13th. And when an employee opened the box, she found a biohazard sticker and a canister marked potassium cyanide. She Googled the chemical compound and realized the symptoms of cyanide poisoning were similar to the symptoms that Angela was experiencing. When the employee heard Angela had been readmitted to the hospital on March 15th, she told Craig's business partner about her shocking discovery. He then told a nurse during a visit to check up on her. The nurse called police and her death was investigated by Major Crimes Homicide Unit detectives who determined she was poisoned. Anytime a nurse comes across something along these lines that it looks like, hey, looks like someone might have done this to her, they are automatically supposed to do this. As a mandatory reporter, the nurse called the police and an investigation ensued. That's what the affidavit has shared about this. And Craig, he told investigators that his wife had been intentionally overdosing on opioids since had asked for a divorce in December of 2022. Then the police raided his home and business, seizing protein powders, shakers, a computer tablet, phones, and 2 Ziploc bags with powdery substances. A data analysis of his devices revealed the chilling searches that he had conducted online, including a $13 Amazon order for arsenic, metal 99.9999% crystalline metalloid, 10 grams for element collection. I have no clue what any of that stuff means, and sorry I'm mispronounce it. But when police combed through his email account, jimandwaffles@gmail.com, they found additional purchases of poison. Again, that's according to the affidavit. Now, Craig and his practice, Summerbrook Dental, filed for bankruptcy protection in 2021. That's according to court records. The couple, they had been married for more than 20 years and were parents to 6 children, 5 girls and a boy aged 8 to 20. In a 2021 press release, Craig described himself as happily married to Angela. And people around them, friends, people close to the family, said that he was on the brink of a second bankruptcy. The release went on to say that the pair have 6 children and they all enjoy the outdoors, especially camping, snowboarding, fishing, hiking, rock climbing, and mountain biking. That's what the press release shared. They also enjoy visiting theme parks and are often traveling to Disney, Universal, and SeaWorld. It noted as well that Craig volunteered with We Can Help, an anti-bullying program sponsored by the Denver Police Department. Now, poisoning, this is a rare method murder. According to studies, poisoning accounts for less than 0.5% of murder cases. So this is not a very common thing. You can see where through his search some of the things he was looking at on YouTube. The top 5 undetectable poisons that show no signs of foul play. That's what he searched. He did one where he watched parts 5 and 6. I don't know if he watched 4, 3, 2, 1 earlier, but you can see in the matter of like 2 minutes, 5 different videos. I don't know if they're short videos. I don't know anything about those videos. And you can see when his mistress, Austin to Denver, she was from Texas heading to Colorado. This was at the time that his wife was going through this. You can see she landed March 8th around 9:10 p.m. And so, again, she first was admitted going into the hospital at March 6th. And then, boom, couple days later. I don't know. So rest in peace. Rest in peace. Taken from this world way too soon. And you can even see here when she was talking about a drink, one of his shakes. This is an actual text message. She said, "That drink you gave me tastes weird." He says, "Good to know. I won't drink one." She says, "It wasn't bad necessarily. It just had kind of a very faint, subtle, chalky aftertaste." He says, "Yuck." James Craig, I truly do not think this is looking good for you. They allege you did this, and right now, I have to say, it looks like you did this. I'm not the cops. It's going to be done in a court of law. You can see here, this was very incriminating. On this text to, I want to say maybe Ryan or maybe someone. I'm not too sure. But he talks about them talking to the police. He says, "Good morning. Thank you for taking my patient load today. I want to make an urgent plea to you. If we were ever friends, please do this favor for me. Please don't talk to anyone about what we talked about last night, including any law enforcement officers. You are under no obligation to answer their questions unless you are served a subpoena, and you will do more damage than good to my family by continuing to insert yourself into this. Angela is gone, and I am devastated. There is nothing that can bring her back, and I want desperately to tell you all of the details so you can better understand what's gone on behind the scenes with her. There is so much that you don't know what I wish you did. If you knew everything, this would make so much sense to you, but there's no use in telling you right now. You and I have a history of you and the other partners and Jackie all talking about me behind my back and deciding what you think is best, and then you're always the fall guy that has pulled the trigger or tell me what you've all decided about me. I'm fact. Yesterday you didn't even come to me. I had to seek you out. You have never given me the advantage of talking with me first. You just decide and then act and hope I'll pick up the pieces later. This is a pattern in our business dealings and now has become a factor in our personal dealings. That's what he was sharing. Again, he was sharing that please don't talk about this. He says this is a pattern in our business. Let me paint a picture for you of what this has done. Yesterday, I had to tell my kids their mom was not going to wake up, and they were there to say their final goodbyes. That was at 6:45 p.m. The hospital said we could bring the kids up to say goodbye. And, and incriminating himself pretty much, he's talking to someone and he says, don't tell your team not to talk to law enforcement. He says, unless you're subpoenaed, that's when you're legally forced to talk. And he says, and whoever else on the team you think is going to be questioned, I would ask that you privately ask them to honor this request of not talking to anyone. And please do not respond to this text message until I text you again. Very strange text messages. You can see here where she says, I had my protein shake and magnesium makes me weird. This is not hungry. And he asks, are you nauseous? She says, no, I feel drugged. And as you saw that a little earlier, and here he is taking a picture of her in the hospital bed. Why would he do this to his lovely wife of 6 kids? Why? I will never understand. But Jim Craig, you've got some explaining to do, and right now it's not looking good for you. Rest in peace taken from this world way too soon. My friends, it's stories like this for Angela Craig to be a voice for Angela Craig, taken from this world at the young age of 43 years old. 6 kids will now be without their mother because of a husband who allegedly did this in order to be with his mistress. It gets no uglier than this. Rest in peace. Poisoned to death by her husband, the person who's supposed to love her and look out for her. My friends, until next time, this has been another episode of Deep True Crime. If it's stories like this that you like to follow, please hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And click on that like. That will tell YouTube that there is some value here. Show it to more people. Right there. Just hit right over. I keep going to the wrong side. Right there. Need to change it. Anyway, my friends, until next time, be careful, be alert, be aware. Anything can happen in a quick minute of time. And she even thought he was doing something to her. And he still did something to her. I'm Manny Rodriguez. This has been another episode of Deep True Crime. Until next time, my friends, peace.